I always think it's a kind of lost world. And the gorillas are lucky to live here. And we're all lucky to share it. But we must share it in a way that preserves it and does not destroy it.
We've been looking forward to this assignment for some time now. It's not every day that you get to photograph and document great apes, specifically chimpanzees in a very remote part of Uganda.
Chambura Gorge is the heart of Queen Elizabeth National Park. It's a tiny gorge with a very special ecosystem with chimps and wildlife and the river running through it. The apes are our nearest cousins, the chimp and the gorilla. There are very few of them, but the decline in the chimp population is huge. There are 27 chimps today isolated from other neighboring forests. Previously, they were connected to them by corridors because the forests connected. Now they don't. Potentially they'll die out because they do not have enough of a reproductive pool to grow.
We've just walked down into the gorge from the open savanna. We heard chimps earlier during the briefing, and the chimps were actually located last night at around 6 p.m. where they bedded down, and we're going to that last position to try and see if we can at least pick up their tracks and hopefully relocate on the troop.
Pretty tough going. We spent a good 2 hours trying to track and locate these animals, and eventually we started hearing them call.
We've just heard the calls. First time we've heard the calls this morning. They're about 3 kilometers away, give or take. Quite an eerie sound to hear from a distance, but at the same time really exciting because we know these animals are close by. So our chances have just improved.
The gorge, I can say it is a hidden beauty. Being the only underground forest that we have here, it's such a unique place to be. However small it is able to host the chimpanzees. It's a family that needs to be rescued.
This region is just absolutely pristine and really, really beautiful. Makes for a perfect habitat for these chimps that have been isolated here.
So we've got chimps all around us, and a couple of them have just crossed over ahead of us. And just hearing those vocals and being so close to these animals, like, pretty unbelievable experience.
Chimpanzees are very interesting animals. They don't want you to see them, but they are curious about you. You're connected, you know each other, you have a common past. It's an amazing group of animals. If we are to ensure that the great apes survive, is that they have habitat. There's about 1,000 mountain gorillas left in the world today. The number has stabilized and grown, so it's a great success story. But habitat is under major pressure. In my experience, the future of wildlife and wilderness does not lie in the hands of government, does not lie in the hands of the private sector or conservation organizations. But the key player in this paradigm are the communities. It's a simple chain. If you want to save the great apes, focus on communities. Every time you see a gorilla, it's a kind of a new beginning. It's a new experience. And it is magical because you're just sharing something of your past together.
So we've just crossed into Virunga National Park, and sheesh, what an atmosphere. We're getting ready to see if we can track down 4 silverbacks. I think they were last located about an hour's walk from here, so we've got fingers crossed and we're hoping to get some awesome content today.
These are what they call habituated gorillas. So they are carrying on with their life, and you're allowed to intrude in that for an hour in a controlled way. When you look at a gorilla, you're seeing something of yourself. The emotions inevitably are strong, aren't they, for all of us?
You just need a moment with the gorillas at night and he looks up, eyes are beautifully lit. I mean, it's never going to be perfect, but this is still amazing, amazing, amazing.
He's positioned himself perfectly for us. He's sitting in the light and he's feeding on some foliage. Look at this little guy.
And it's just, I mean, you just can't relive moments like this.
These gorillas have been there forever, but so have been the Batwa. The Batwa are one of the oldest indigenous peoples in Africa. In the colonial period, of course, national parks were created to preserve wildlife. But in the end, the Batwa have had to leave the forest without any rights, without any compensation, without any land. They've become what is called conservation refugees. If they're not going to benefit from the gorillas, from the forest, they have no reason to support it. We cannot just have parks that look after wildlife. Somehow they must look after communities. This, I think, is a very important way of recognizing that humans also matter in the conservation chain. We have to ask ourselves, when you have special species like this, are we just going to let them disappear? Are we going to just let the forest disappear? Or are we going to make sure that for posterity we have this legacy?